rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events, this is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Rick. Well, Saturday's show got essentially preempted, and I'm only chuckling because I'm not very. I mean, I usually don't do like massive cut to today's whatever stuff is going on and that kind of stuff. I don't do like the live broadcast. Okay, now we're going to head off to so-and-so for a live cut or whatever. But I had no other choice because obviously there was a broadcast or a live event happening that needed commentary. And I don't know, I guess I did okay with it. But as I said on Saturday, we gotta calm down. We gotta hold until we get more information. And now we have a lot more information about the shooter, about what else is going on, and the reaction from all of the leftist lunatic idiots that are out there, including some people who really and truly ought to know better. Anyway, let's go ahead and get things kicked off. I got a bunch of stuff to talk about here, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even sure. I'm in control of the show, and I don't even have any idea myself where this show is really going to go, because I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to, like, all of a sudden just take off on a rant. So just to be aware, it's highly likely in tonight's show. All right, folks, let's get everything kicked off. Tonight, we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the very, very interesting voiced Bam. Bam is up for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mind, yeah, I know. Good point, Chevy. Since when do I think that I'm in control? Yeah. Anyway, if you are of mind, please stand, remove your hat. If you're wearing one, like me, place your hand over your heart and follow along with our very own Whiskey Warrior P1, Bam, as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And, of course, I thank you, Bam, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, attach it to an email, and send that email to me via the address fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. If you record it on your phone, make sure to use the share option to do the exact same thing. You can share it to me by sending it off to fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, FANS, at AmericanPerspective.online. I have 23. I'd like to get 26 by the end of 2026. So if you haven't done one, I'd appreciate it if you would do it sometime in the near future. All right. Tonight's headline sponsor, I'm wearing the Declaration of Independence men's cotton polo from these folks. I've talked about them before. I wear their shirts often, not always, but often. And that is theflagshirt.com. That's where you can go to get these fantastic America-themed shirts. They have men's, women's, kids, made in the USA. They even have a collection that they are curating for the America's 250th anniversary coming up this year on July 4th. Go and check out all of their styles by going to theflagshirt.com. And if you order $75 or more of their product, they will give you free shipping. But I know not everybody can do $75. I get it. So I'm going to help you out. Head on over to flagshirt.americanperspective.online. That's flagshirt.americanperspective.online, where you will be presented with a coupon code that you can copy and paste into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com. And you'll receive $5 off your order on American Perspective. Go to flagshirt.americanperspective.online to get that coupon code that you copy and paste into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com. And you will receive $5 off your order on American Perspective. Head on over to theflagshirt.com and get yourself patriotized. All right. Folks, there's just no reasoning with these people. I mean, most of the time I sit there and I look at somebody and I think to myself, if you can only figure out just what makes them tick, you can possibly get to them. You can get them to understand. You can get them to at least see your side of things. Yeah, that's not happening. Not going to happen. These leftists, especially within the Democrat Party, yeah, there is no reconciliation. There is no reasoning with these people. There is none of that. And because of the fact that, well, they're already too far gone. See, the problem is the rhetoric that comes out of their mouths, okay? The rhetoric that comes out of their mouths is not rhetoric to them. They actually wholeheartedly and 100% believe in what they are telling you. If they sit there and they tell you that, oh, it's okay to abort a baby, who the hell cares? All it is a zygote or an embryo or, whatever. It's not human at all. Life doesn't begin when two separate individual strands of DNA combine to form a third, complete different strand of DNA. No, life doesn't. No. Believe the science. The science that tells you that there are 150,000 million whatever genders, that you can't get a virus being 6 feet away from somebody who has it, that wearing a mask with all kinds of holes in it that you can push smoke through that has a much bigger diameter than the virus does. Oh, yeah. All of that. Sure. Believe in the science that makes it to where somebody, a human being, can all of a sudden decide in their mind that they can become an animal. And that the rest of the world is supposed to partake in that delusion. Yeah. I mean, these people, I'm just telling you. And what's even worse is that they will tell you that, oh, hey, one of our crazy ass individuals, part of our party, you know, spurred on by a bunch of rhetoric that we've been throwing out there. Oh, but we truly believe that. All of the stuff that we've been putting out there, he goes and decides, or we didn't even know if he's a he might be a she, he might be an it, he might be a zir, jim, jow, whatever. And you see him. I'm going to use the him, because that's what he is. You can see him running through the security checkpoint. You get his manifesto, you know, his last message, what he thought was his last message to the world. Oh, we have no idea why he did that. We have no idea. And by the way, it's the target's fault. Folks, these people are going to keep coming out of the woodwork. They're going to keep coming. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're going to keep coming, because the leftist lunatics of this country, the leftist, complete, sycophantic, utter, stupid morons of this country will continue to use their language in order to incite these people. See, they don't give a flying hoot. They don't give a flying hoot about whether or not a conservative, a Christian, a Republican, or any combination of one of the three dies. They don't care. They really don't. And they know what they say is, tantamount to lighting a burning match on a can of gasoline, but they don't give a crap. They just don't. Because to them, anything is good. Anything is good. Now, I have a little clip here of a CNN individual. Now, this was taped, or might have been live TV, I don't know. But this was captured right prior to the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. This is CNN, complete and utter moron. There's a commentator named S.E. Cupp. He was on Saturday night. Saturday night, she was there to cover the CNN, or the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Just take a listen to what she has to say about what the press, or what the White House Correspondents' Dinner was all about.
Could not have planned this scenario better. And guess what? He didn't. We did. Journalism planned this scenario for Donald Trump. So if I'm Donald Trump, of course I come under these conditions. And you just heard Brian Stelter say that the Correspondents Association was trying to sort of mend some fences with a guy who wants us dead, figuratively. Figuratively, he wants journalism dead. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think this is a great night for journalism.
Okay. So, question for this individual. I have a question. At what point, and where is your proof that demonstrates that Donald Trump actually wants journalists dead, figuratively speaking? Because I see plenty of journalists out there, and I mean real journalists, ones that are actually doing the job that the mainstream media used to do before they became the laughingstock. before they became the propaganda arm of the entire sycophantic moron Democrat leftist run party. I'm just asking. All he says, literally, thank you, Bonnie, for pointing that out. All he says is that you're just fake news, which you are. You idiots are complete and utter propagandist fake news. That's what you are. That's exactly what you are. And yet you're sitting here and you're complaining about the fact that the White House Correspondents Association decided to try and at least mend the fences a little bit between the White House and your press corps, because you people basically stepped into the pile of dog poo and then tried to wipe it off on Donald Trump's leg. Yeah. Yeah. No. So sit there and complain there, SE, whatever the hell that's for. But yeah, sit there and you know, anyway, I'm so frustrated with these people who have this mightier than thou attitude. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, they've been scooped so many times by independent journalists. And by what I mean by independent journalists is individuals who are taking their own time to go out and actually investigate things, and the mainstream media just completely ignores them. They ignore the fact that we've got fraud running rampant in Democrat cities and states. They ignore the fact that we have a rhetoric coming from the Democrat Party that is entirely insightful. Entirely. And they don't get it. And here's an example. So the gunman, I'm not going to mention his name. Not that he was not, he was successful or anything, but I'm not giving him any credit. Okay. But this guy posted, and by the way, when you first look at his photo, I mean, I wasn't aware, but here's the photo of him being caught and handcuffed in the middle of the hotel lobby, right above the stairs. And looking at this, okay, looking at this guy, I almost would have said that he was at least partially white, okay, that he was light-skinned. Not that race matters in this, but I have to show this to you so that you gain the context of what I'm about to talk about. So this guy, he sends out this, I don't know, they call it a manifesto, but really it's the ramblings of a deranged lunatic. He went by a couple different names and things like that, and he called himself the Friendly Federal Assassin Alien. Yeah. So he writes this manifesto. Now, I've read the whole thing, but I'm only going to pick a couple of items from it. First of all, he apologizes to everyone that he has wronged or abused. That's his word, abused, in all of this. And he sits there and he claims that, first of all, that he's a citizen of the United States. That to him, his representatives, whatever they do, reflects on him. Yeah. And this is the main line. I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. Okay. I'm just going to say this right now. Okay. If you're a leftist watching this program or listening to this program later on down the road, like I've pointed out to every single person who has come onto the socials and said that he is a rapist, that he is a pedophile, okay? I just simply want to know, where is your undisputed evidence and proof? Not innuendo, not suggestive. I don't even want circumstantial evidence, because none of that stands up in a regular court of law. You know, that thing called law and order? You know, the thing where a person is innocent until proven guilty? Oh, I'm talking about American principles that this country was founded upon, that were enshrined in our Constitution. That we as Americans, if you're an American, dickwad, if you're an American, you should be standing there and saying, you know what? I'll wait until the proof comes out. I'll wait until the proof comes out. And you know what? I still haven't seen any proof yet. Any irrefutable proof in a court of law. It's known as evidence in a court of law that he is any one of those things. He's not. See, this is the innuendo. This is the exact references that every single person, every single one of the hive mind leftist Democrat lunatics on the left have sat there and copied, saying the same things over and over. I mean, my own senator, and I'm not that I'm necessarily claiming her, she just happens to come from the state of Washington. Senator Patty Murray has called him a pedophile multiple times. How many times has Hakeem Jeffries stood up there and talked about the extreme MAGA Republicans who are going to destroy our democracy when we don't even have a democracy in the first case? How many times have you heard Democrats say, well, Donald Trump's reign of power must be terminated? They choose those words for a specific reason. They choose them because they know that they are the match to light the gasoline that is sitting there waiting for somebody to strike a match near it. And they don't care. And they don't care. Now, he continues, and he talks about the rules of engagement. The rules of engagement that he puts forth are basically who he's there to attack, potentially kill, eliminate. Now, for some strange reason, we still don't know why, maybe we'll get the answer soon enough, but apparently all of the administration officials were targets, with the exception of Kash Patel. We don't know why Kash Patel was excluded, but according to him, the priority was from the highest ranking to the lowest. And then, of course, he goes through Secret Service. He's like, they're targets only if necessary. Yeah. Hotel security, they're not targets either. Capitol Police, they're not targets. National Guard, they're not targets. Hotel employees, they're not targets. Guests, they're not targets. He also explains that he's only going to use buckshot rather than slugs, because to him, that's less penetration through walls. So, his long gun was a shotgun. He apparently had one other gun on him, but there's no description at this point of what it is. My anticipation is it was a handgun. He also did have several knives on his person. But he continues, and he says that, well, even though all those people aren't targets, I'll still go through them to get to the targets. See, this is the problem. The man himself has no qualms about taking innocent lives. Yeah, 3 Chevy, you put, well. So here's the thing. He says, 3 Chevy points out, but buckshot spreads out all over the place and could possibly hit non-targets. Well, here's the thing. That tells me that the guy has absolutely no idea what he's doing. That he has no experience at all with any firearms. And I'm also being told by my unofficial producer they have stated that the handgun was a .38. Yeah, okay. Again, the guy probably didn't have much experience with firearms because, yeah, well, let's just leave it at that. Anyway, he goes through and he does a whole bunch of rebuttals for his objections, but the one that stood out to me was this one. Objection number 4. As a half black, half white person, you shouldn't be the one doing this. And his rebuttal to that objection is basically, I don't see anyone else picking up the slack. Why would he have the reason in the thought process? Granted, this guy is a loon. He's a nut. He's an obvious nut. But why would he have any reason to point out what race he is in this particular situation? And the fact that he is of mixed race. Why would he have the reason to do that? Could it be potentially that the leftist lunatics and Democrats are so focused on race, so focused on that it becomes an identity for them? That they wrap themselves in this cloak of identification of being a member of a victimized group, which has zero victimization realistically in 2026 America, that they have the exact same opportunities that anybody else has. Oh, by the way, did I point out that this guy actually was like headed for his master's or his doctor? He was headed for a higher educational degree, that he was highly educated. He had a mechanical engineering degree from, I believe, Caltech, but I could be wrong in terms of the university. But he had a high-level mechanical engineering degree. So it's not like the guy was like a complete loon as far as up until that point. He even was teaching classes, reportedly. He was teaching classes on things like how to build from a physics standpoint, how to build certain objects. He was caught on film. There's a video running out there where he invented a way to put a brake, an actual true braking system on a wheelchair. Now, his example was using just PVC pipe, but he had essentially designed this brake for wheelchairs. And so the guy obviously was not like stupid. I mean, as far as, education goes. But it does point out to the system and through the system that even STEM technologies, science, technology, engineering, and math, which are typically populated by Republican or, shall I say, conservative valued professors, based on studies, that even they apparently can't override the indoctrination that comes from these leftist lunatic, I'm going to call them asylums. I'm sure we'll learn more. However, that being said, the leftist lunatics that are out there, including and all the way up to Barack Obama, they all jumped on the bandwagon that this was somebody else's fault. All right. Let me go ahead and talk to you. I haven't done this one in a while. Let me talk to you about this. Take a break real quick. I got to lower my blood pressure. This is driving me nuts. Anyway, let me talk to you a little bit about coffee. And if you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit has dropped. There's a small number of units available. In each unit, you're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus with no crash. All of these coffees are single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you'll also be receiving a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. There is a frother strong enough to stir up not only your coffee, but also your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler, all a part of this kit. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just the low, low price of $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble and have been wondering if it's actually worth it. Well, spoiler alert, it is. Go to the numbers 1775, the word coffee, all together, all one word. So that's 1775coffee.com/studio, STUDIO, and grab your starter kit before they are gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit today. And by the way, according to G, 1775 is the new reserve currency for enlightened societies. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit. All right. Well, the shooter appeared in court today, and not G, not as in G, but G as in GEE. He has been charged with attempting to assassinate Donald Trump. He also has been charged with a few other things, like carrying a weapon across state lines with the intent of committing a felony. There's also other charges that are going on as well. Charged with assault on a federal officer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of them that they have put together. So he is, and by the way, his charge of attempting to assassinate the president, if he is convicted of that, could be life in prison for him. Now, as far as the guy who did this, yes, he was a deranged lunatic. But what's even worse is the fact that there are a bunch of other deranged lunatics that are all over them. Yes. These people these people, these leftists. This is why I'm saying we can't reconcile with them. We cannot reason with them, because anybody, even on the right, anybody understands that violence for political purposes is, well, violence for just about any purpose other than defending yourself is literally something that the majority of smart, intelligent, common sense, logic, reason people would say, oh, yeah, that's kind of a bridge too far. There's no reason for that to happen. But yet, these leftist idiots, okay, are running around and have been talking about things like, oh, well, first of all, it was staged. Oh, this whole thing was staged. Do you honestly believe, and I'm just going to take this, do you honestly believe that President Trump, the narcissist that he is, would bypass the opportunity by staging something like this, where he has a literal captive audience in people that he thinks are incredibly stupid, for 1 hour, that he can stand up and speak to these people for 1 hour and roast the crap out of them for that whole hour? Do you honestly believe that this man is going to go along with or stage some sort of a assassination attempt? No. No, he's not. Oh my gosh. And you know, these are the same idiots that believe, for whatever reason, the Candace Owens followers of the leftist lunatic base, who are sitting here saying, oh yeah, the Charlie Kirk assassination was staged, Erica Kirk was a part of it, you know, so on and so forth. I'll get to the actual, you know, evidence later. I'll get to it tomorrow, and then the next day. I'll get to it tomorrow, and the next day. I'll get to it tomorrow. I mean, seriously, what the hell is wrong with you people? You people believe that Butler was staged, that Donald Trump is such an evil, horrible man that he would allow a father in front of his family to be shot and killed by a staged, you know what? Even the most stupid, oh no, I take that back, because they do. They are the most stupid. Nobody would want to get shot out with live rounds. Oh my God, I was in the military. I was in training. They were shooting 6 to 10 feet over my head. I'm just guessing, because I honestly don't know, as I'm crawling with my head in the frickin' dirt, going through an obstacle course, having C4 blown up around me in order to simulate a battlefield environment. That's part of the training. That's part of the training. And they're firing M60 rounds, which is a 7.62 millimeter round, over our heads. Tracer rounds, so you can see them as they're going across in the sky above us. That's what we went through, or what I went through during my military basic training, my Army basic training. And you're sitting here telling me that some man is going to literally tell somebody, hey, shoot at my head so that you can have the bullet graze by my ear in a special effects motion, because I have photos, special effects motion, to go and like clip the very edge of my ear so that I can put blood on it. Yeah. You people are entirely entirely stupid. You were so freaking stupid. You were so goddamn dumb. I can't even imagine that I could stand in a room with you people, because I really can't. My tolerance for stupid is over. I'm done with all you stupid idiots and stupid morons out there who think that this was staged, that his butler was staged, the guy trying to get him at the golf course, that was staged. I mean, people are just so damn stupid. They're sitting here talking about it being a false flag operation because Donald Trump happened to mention, hey, by the way, maybe if we had a ballroom on secured White House grounds, that we would be able to secure it better and this kind of stuff wouldn't happen. Which is a common sense and logical place to go. But because he happened to mention that in his press conference afterwards, well, it was staged. It's a coincidence. Yeah. Now, a little bit of historical note that I don't think anybody caught, but this Hilton hotel that Donald Trump was just at for this White House Correspondents' Dinner is the exact same Hilton hotel that Ronald Reagan was shot. Ronald Reagan was leaving the Hilton Hotel when he was shot, when his attempted assassination happened. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I would consider that former President Barack Obama would be at least halfway intelligent out of all of this. But yeah, he wasn't. So he apparently commented on Sunday on X. Here's his post. Let me go ahead and show it to you. Here is his post. I'm going to try and get as close to it as I can. There it is. He says, although we don't yet have the details about the motives behind last night's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Hello? Dumbass. We have his manifesto where he clearly states that he's going from the highest priority target in the cabinet to the lowest priority target in the cabinet, the administration. We know exactly what the man was doing. He posted that right before he decided to do what he did. Oh, but we don't have a motive. We don't have a motive for this. Yeah. Yeah, we don't. We have no idea why he did this. None whatsoever. I mean, as far as I know, he was just an errant gun owner who was trying to get through the metal detector so that he could get beyond the hotel somewhere else. What a complete freaking utter moron. I can't even believe this idiot was president. I mean, well, then again, Biden comes in and is more of an idiot than he is. Anyway. These people. And it's not just him. It's not just, the sycophants in the social media space, although they're a pretty big part of it. But there's also, somebody like this highly intelligent idiot. Here's a post by a Wisconsin brewery. Oh, hey, we almost got free beer day. either a brother or a sister in the resistance needs to work on their marksmanship, or he faked another assassination to get a positive news cycle. We'll never know. Really? Really? And they're going to pay. They're like, hey, if you assassinate him, we're going to give you free beer. We're ready to pour for free beer the day that it happens. This place should be shut down. Nobody should go to this place. I don't care whether you're a leftist. Well, leftists don't really have any sense. But if you're a person on the right, or if you're a person who is an independent, or if you're a person who is a halfway intelligent Democrat, former meaning the old party Democrat, don't go to this stupid ass freaking store. They should go out of business. They should go out of business. And by the way, too, just so you know, it could be, my unofficial producer points out that, is that considered to be a bribe for murder? It could be if somebody says, hey, I did this because I wanted free beer. It certainly would put a twist on the investigation. But apparently this owner of this owner is owned by a guy named Kirk Bangstad since 2016. They market what they call progressive beer, aimed at liberal causes, and they sell online via the website Minnequa. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correct. brewingcompany.com. Yeah. This is according to Grok, of course. But I'm sure somebody could go and verify that. Telling you, these people are idiots. These people are idiots. Oh, yeah. G, of course, asked, well, hey, that's a low threshold for killing. I would kill for a beer. Well, these idiots are obviously killing for no money or fame or fortune or anything else. They're rushing freaking checkpoints in hotels. Yeah. I'm telling you, these people are stupid. They are incredibly stupid, and unfortunately, we live with them. One of them, of course, some of them. Now, you want to talk about, that whole S.E. Krupp thing? Oh, he wants us all dead. Well, here's why. I mean, figuratively, she said. Well, here's why he calls you people the fake news. Seriously, this is exactly why he calls you the fake news. So, Donald Trump was on 61 Minutes. And O'Donnell, whatever her name is, what's her name? Karen O'Donnell? Nora O'Donnell. Nora O'Donnell is interviewing him. Now, this is the kind of person that Trump actually is, because I personally wouldn't sit down with him. In fact, when Leslie Stahl was sitting there going, sir, on the last time that Donald Trump was there, and yeah, that was an impression of her. She's just a freaking hack. Anyway, this person, Nora O'Donnell, has to come up with this tidbit. Take a listen to this.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this: I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read.
Okay, wait. Do you think he was referring to you? Do you know how stupid she is? What the hell? It was completely obvious he's referring to Trump. Who the hell else in the administration is connected to those three words all as a single individual. Anyway, let's continue.
That crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, you know, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, you know, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
disgraceful.
the other thing in the manifesto that
Okay. So Donald Trump, of course, has a right to sit there and say you're a disgrace, because she actually is. She is a horrible disgrace. You know, she just, well, she continues. And she continues with it because she brings up the idea that this guy, this idiot, this deranged lunatic, went to a No Kings rally. Well, I personally think that everybody, and I've said this, anybody who goes out to protest something that has not existed in America since 1776, doesn't exist now, and likely won't exist in the future, is a complete, utter, stupid moron. Anyway, I'm proven right. Often enough. Here is O'Donnell, again, talking about the No Kings protests.
he had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings, yeah.
What did security tell you about what may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing No Kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
Yeah. If he was a king, he wouldn't be out in front of the people. If he was a king, he wouldn't be trying to better Americans' lives. If he was a king, he wouldn't really give a crap about whether or not Iran attacks somebody. What the hell, folks? Again, these people, and I am going to do something that I try and avoid doing as much as I can. I'm lumping all of you leftist lunatics into the same batch. You guys are all morons. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. This is ridiculous. Well, there are some people on the left, and who have typically been left, who, well, they actually do have a bit of brains, folks. They do actually have a bit of brains. Now, this little next clip, this is Van Jones, and he brings up a very good point. And trust me, there are people who are already lined up and ready for this. Take a listen to this.
Wow. All I can say is, wow. Well, I thought the president did well. I'm starting to worry about something, though, which is that the shooter survived, which means on Monday he's going to court, which means there is a danger that people try to make him some sort of hero. Mm. You watch what happened with Luigi, who shot a CEO to death and somehow became a hero. So they said tonight you saw the worst of America, you saw the best of America. Tonight you definitely saw the best of America. I hope on Monday we don't see the worst again. I just want to say very clearly, this kind of despicable behavior has no place in America. It has no place on the right. It has no place on the left. We don't know if he was there because he wanted to hurt Democrats or Republicans. Both were there. We don't know if he wanted to hurt journalists or politicians. Both were there. This kind of behavior has no place in America. And it is wrong. Violence is not the way to resolve any grievances. And this cheerleader culture for violence for people who think that the answer to our problems is to go shooting billionaires or going to synagogues or all these different things has to be called out immediately. The minute it starts, every single person with a platform must denounce it, or we're going to see this again.
Well, Van, you missed the one biggest part. Denouncing the violence is only one part. The other part is to not trigger it in the first effing place. So yeah, we are going to see it again because your partners on the left in both the mainstream media, the Democrat Party representatives, people like Hakeem Jeffries who have a carte blanche to be able to spew whatever BS, unproven BS across the airwaves at any point in time. They're the ones who are pushing all of this. I mean, you're sitting here and you're talking about the politics of political violence. Well, here's the politics of political violence, folks. This is the politics. This is not a both sides issue. This is not a questionable issue. This is not, hey, the left and the right, they both kind of contributed. Bull crap. Now, I posted this, I didn't post this, but I talked about this when it came out. Here, this is a poll, a study that was done in terms of the political, and I'm sorry, I can't get it any bigger than this, the political leanings of people who want or who believe that political violence is allowable. Folks, you leftists, a full quarter of the respondents who claim to be very liberal, 25% said, oh yes, political violence is justified. You want to know among conservatives? 3% responded the exact same way. In other words, and I'm taking this from Rod Sterling's post on X, in other words, the left is 8 times more likely to support political violence than the right is. And by right, I mean very conservative people. Quit saying this is a both sides problem. This isn't a both sides problem. It is 100% on the left. It's 100% on the left. See, the conservatives, we sit and we talk about policy. We talk about facts. We talk about evidence. We talk about reality and truth. We talk about everything that is a objective point of view and a objective angle, an objective perspective. But the left, everything the left talks about is 100% subjective, meaning that you have an emotion attached to it. It's not real. It's not facts. It's not evidence. It's not truth. It's all subjective based on a person's perception of reality or a person's perception of what somebody is doing. Things like, oh, words are violence. No, words are not violence. You know what happens when you get offended by something? Nothing. You get offended, everybody goes back to work, nothing happens. You're an idiot. Now, what you do with that offense, that's where the problem comes into play. And that's what these idiots, morons, droogs, lunatics are doing. I'm tired of this. You can sit here and talk all day long about how the left is so inclusive. We're so tolerant. Bull crap. You ain't nothing. And I'm done. You want reality? This is reality. You don't give a crap about life. You haven't since the moment you jumped on the whole abortion bandwagon. And yes, I'm tying that in here. Because the minute that you decide that a human life is not worth something, you're no longer going to care when somebody else who doesn't deserve to be killed actually gets killed. Why do you think they don't give a crap? Why do you think they don't give a crap about illegals killing innocent girls? Why do you think they don't give a crap about that? Because to them, conservatives, Christians, Americans, they aren't worth the ground that we walk on to them. We can't reconcile with these people. And sadly enough, we're no longer going to be able to necessarily live side by side with these people. So I welcome any kind of a national divorce. If it's going to happen, I welcome it. Go ahead. Because you people are absolutely disgusting. And I want no part of you. And that is tonight's show. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you search for the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time that I go live. Also, too, don't forget to hit those thumbs up, thumbs downs, or in the case of 3 Chevy, either a thumb sideways or a thumb at an angle across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.